Hey everyone, if you're watching this video, then that means that you have a vested interest in keeping Oakwood kids safe. And so I just want to say thank you so much for watching this emergency procedure video to find out how you can be equipped and prepared in case of any emergency that might go on while you are serving here at Oakwood Kids. So thank you again for watching, and let's go ahead and hop into this video. I'm going to share my screen and start a presentation, and we're going to hop into it. This is called the Standard Response Protocol. It comes from another organization, and what we love about this is that it is 5 actions or 5 terms that are used all over the place. And so a lot of folks are using, you're probably familiar with this yourself, and so let's just jump into what this is. These 5 terms that we use are, say, hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. And the reason why we use the Standard Response Protocol is because it is a shared lexicon of school safety, of church safety, because this is shared with first responders, it's shared with staff, with students, and with parents. And so you are probably familiar with this if you have a child in our education system, because this is the same tools that they use at our schools. So again, that's hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. And so how we will initiate it is we will say one of these actions followed by a directive. And so each action has a specific instruction that is used. Now, how will you know that we are in some kind of emergency or using one of these actions? We will use our bullhorns that we have located at our front desk. We do not have any kind of PA system that is hardwired in the building, but we have those bullhorns at the desk. So we will walk around and let you know, evacuate out of the building, evacuate out of the building. We'll walk around, make sure all the classrooms know, and then we will begin whatever action it is that we are in there. So the first one is hold. And so we would say hold in your classroom, hold in your classroom. So why would we need a hold? Is basically we need all the hallways clear. That might be because there's some kind of a medical emergency where we need the hallways clear, some kind of hazmat spill that might happen. I will be honest with you guys, in almost every single case that we have needed to put a hold here at Oakwood Kids, it's because we have a misplaced child. And so we need to make sure that that kid is where that kid is located in what classroom, and then get that child back to the correct classroom. So what are students supposed to do in a hold? They are supposed to just remain in the classroom until everything is all clear. So they'll just listen to their teachers. Teachers, we are asking you to remain in your classroom or whatever location you are at the time. Please close the door. And then will you please take attendance too? And so that way you'll know if you have all of your children there, or if you are in need of, or if you have an extra child that we can take care of and we have found. But for the most part, it is going to be business as usual for you guys. So again, that is hold in your classroom, hold in your classroom. The next one is secure. Previously, this was known as lockout, but lockout and lockdown, which we'll get to in a minute, sound very similar. And so they have changed it to secure. So we would say secure, get inside, lock outside doors, secure, get inside, lock outside doors. Why would we need to go into a secure? There might be something dangerous around the school, or sorry, around the church that we don't want to come in. Criminal activity, any type of civil unrest, or maybe a dangerous animal that might be on the playground. And so we just want to make sure that everybody, the main thing there is to get inside, allow the staff security team to lock our outside doors. But for the most part, again, it's going to be business as usual. So students, get in the classroom. We won't let any students in or out. Business as usual for them. For teachers, please bring everyone inside in a calm, safe manner. Staff and security team, we will make sure to lock outside doors. Teachers, we're just going to ask you just to kind of be aware, scan the area, increase your situational awareness, and please take attendance. You'll see this time and time again. Always take attendance anytime we are in an emergency procedure. All right. But for the most part, it will be business as usual. For most of the time during the secure, we are not going to let anyone in or out of the building. If for some reason the secure is prolonged, then we will do a controlled release. We might only let people come in and out of one particular set of doorways, and we will make sure that the entry for that is monitored as well. So again, that is secure. Get inside, lock the doors. Next is lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. Lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. Why would we go into a lockdown? That means that something dangerous has entered the building. That might be a wrong person. That might be a weapon report, or that might be something worse. And so the main thing for a lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight, is time barrier. That is the key to a lockdown. Most of these events, 70% are over in 5 minutes. 90% of these situations are over in 10 minutes. And the Sandy Hook Commission found in 2015, the number one environmental design that they have found that keeps any kind of threat to come into a classroom is locked doors. So it is vital, one, that our team, our front desk team, and our Oakwood Kids staff and security team make sure that those double doors that go into the hallways for both downstairs and upstairs are closed and locked. Huge time barrier for any kind of threat that might want to come in there. During that lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight, we will call that. Our staff security team will run around, make sure that all of the classroom doors are locked themselves. We have keys to do that. That's upstairs. Downstairs, you know that your doors stay locked. So all we're asking you to do is to flip down the latch on that double door, or on that French door, and to close that, okay? So please take care of that, and we'll talk more about this in just a minute. But again, the key there is locked classroom. Students, we're going to ask students to stay out of the windows, and students have to be quiet. That's key there as well. And please do not open the door for anyone. Anyone that is authorized to come through the door will have a key and will come in themselves. So we will lock the doors. So again, safe person will come in with a key. Teachers, close your door. We understand that you can't lock it. We just talked about that. And please turn off your lights. And please keep everything out of sight, and don't try to cover up the windows. If a threat does happen to make it into the hallway, if they see the window covered up, then they know that there's probably people in there. In any shades that you might have in any exterior classrooms, please leave those alone and don't mess with those at all. Teachers, do your best to maintain silence. And again, just like always, please take attendance. And again, that is lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. Next is evacuate to a location. Evacuate to a location. So we would say evacuate out of the building. Evacuate out of the building. Now, it is very important that when you hear a fire alarm, for instance, it is not a guarantee, and it is not an immediate sign for you to evacuate out of the building. You must wait until we declare evacuate out of the building. Why? Going back to our last point, before we were even able to initiate a lockdown, a threat might pull the fire alarm, inviting all of our children to come out of the building themselves, and we don't want a situation like that. So please, even if you hear the fire alarm go off, do not evacuate out of the building until you hear someone with a bullhorn say evacuate out of the building, okay? So students, we're going to ask all students to leave their stuff behind and listen for any directions. Teachers, on that, grab your attendance sheet. We're going to walk through a packet here in just a second, and I will show you what that means. But grab that attendance sheet, bring your cell phone, and go to that evacuation area and take attendance. Every single classroom in our children's building has a evacuation route for you to follow. So please familiarize yourself with whatever evacuation route for whatever class you might be serving in. And that's right inside the doorway as you walk into those classrooms. So again, that's evacuate to a location. For Oakwood, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be evacuate out of the building. And then you will follow your evacuation route on the map in your classrooms. Next up is shelter for using a safety strategy. Okay. So we will tell you what the hazard is, and then what the safety strategy to follow. And so a hazard is basically a danger or a risk. And so the strategy is the action or plan to remain safe. And so in the event of a tornado, we would say, tornado, get to the storm shelter. Tornado, get to the storm shelter, which for us, we would ask all of our preschool classrooms to get into an interior classroom. And for all of our children upstairs, so that's kinder through fifth grade, we will evacuate downstairs into the tree house, which is the large group meeting space downstairs on our first floor of our children's building. So again, preschool classrooms will go into the interior classrooms. Kinder through fifth grade classrooms, so the second floor of our children's building, will evacuate and make their way into the treehouse, the large group meeting space downstairs. In the event of an earthquake, we would drop and cover and hold. Hazmat will take care of that. I wouldn't even worry about that. And let's get real, I don't think we have tsunamis to worry about here in New Braunfels. But if we did, get to high ground. During the shelter, please always listen for instructions that might come from our staff or from our security team. And again, teachers, if possible, please take attendance there. That wraps up our standard response protocol. Again, those actions are hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter in place. And last slide here that I want to share with you guys, it says peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. And this was created by a secular organization. And so for us as Christians, even more so, to be in a place where we are in the midst of some chaos and some crazy, but our hearts are secure, knowing that we are protected and guarded in Christ Jesus, who is our Lord. I pray that you never have to worry about a single one of these words, or you never have to hear one of these words while you are serving in Oakwood Kids. But if you do, we want you to be prepared in order to keep our church body safe. So again, thank you so much for being a part of that. Now I am going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to walk through this packet that you have here. So this has everything that you need to know as far as the order of how to of the instructions on what to do. Don't expect you to have everything memorized after watching this video. So that's why we have this guide here in your packet. And then also you have another map of your evacuation route that you can use to carry with you. And then also you have some blank sheets for attendance. So if you are in any kind of program that doesn't have a printed roster, which again, more than likely you're going to have a printed roll sheet. But if you didn't, you could use these. There's a flashlight in here. There's a pen in here. There's a notepad for you to take any notes that you might have. But this guy right here is our OK and help cards. So in the event of an evacuation, you are going to evacuate out of the building to your secure location. You are going to raise your card after you're going to take attendance. After you take attendance, if everyone is accounted for, you will hold up your green card to let our security and staff know that everything is fine with your classroom. If you have an extra child, or if you do not have everyone in your classroom, or if you need help for any other reason, you'll flip this card over and raise it in the air and say, help. That will indicate that you need assistance. You need help there as well. So if you are new, please make yourself familiar with these packets. If you have been serving with us in years past, I would, again, just take a time. It's probably been a few years that you've looked through this packet, so just familiarize yourself with the packet as well. Thank you again for taking the few minutes to watch this video in order to be prepared to keep our kids safe. And thank you so much for serving and loving our children here at Oakwood. We exist to disciple kids and equip parents, and I'm thankful and grateful that you have chosen to be a part of that mission. Y'all take care.